Hello, my name is Minzy. This is this should have been a funeral tie. Normally, I'd have a nice little whiff of this, but this can go to fuck. Now, I'm here to talk about Wrexham 2, Chelsea 4 in the FA Cup 5th round. We have uncomfortably reached the FA Cup quarter-finals, and we now know that we're playing Port Vale at home, one of the most toughest ties we could have been given. Listen, without trying to take the piss, I am kind of delighted that we got Port Vale at home, because if that is how we play against Wrexham, God help us against Arsenal or Southampton even, or Manchester City, or Liverpool, or West Ham and Leeds United. I'm sorry, but I am taking Port Vale shamelessly all day, and we need it at home. I'm sorry, we need it at home. That's the first time that Chelsea will be, well, this is the second time now that Chelsea will be playing at home in a domestic cup competition. All of our games have been away. The one against Arsenal was default at home because it was a two-legged affair. Otherwise, I guarantee you, if it was a single-legged semi-final, I guarantee you, even that game, we would have had to have played at the Emirates. As such, we had to play Wrexham away in this game, and we should have gone home. I'm sorry, we should have been knocked out of the FA Cup. It was dire fucking bollical. And it was disrespectful. It was shameful. You might have seen my interview with Kashi on Blues Fan TV earlier, where I was talking about how Jekyll and Hyde we were, how yin and yang we were, but I hold the same opinions. I genuinely think we disrespected Wrexham with the starting 11 we put on. A starting 11 that consisted of Sanchez, Sarr, Adaraboyo, Badiashile. If I see Tosin and Badiashile play against PSG tonight, I am going to somehow purchase a gun, even though you can't get guns in the UK, but I'll somehow find one and put a bullet inside my head. I never want to see Tosin Adarabioyo and Badiashile ever play anywhere near the Chelsea team ever again. You can't put those two on, and I will never put Tosin Adarabioyo on. Full stop. He needed to have gone in the January transfer window. Instead, he's still on our payroll book. We don't need his services. I'm sorry to say this. Those who genuinely gave me fucking gonorrhea watching them play at the race course ground. I can't believe I said race horse ground for Cassie's TV there, but there you go. Anywho, that was our defensive line, supported by Achimpong. I don't know why he was shafted all the way to the right. Santos, Lavia, Hato, Neto, Dilap, Garnacho. And then in the terms of the substitutions that we made every single substitutions except for the ones that we fucking needed. I would have preferred if Adareboyo and Badiashile got replaced by Chalobah. I would have preferred if Achimpong would have been substituted for Reece James. Instead of the changes we made was Sarr was taken off and Gui was put on. And then we took off Lavia and then put Daryl Asugo on. He had a good game, to be fair. And then who else did we take off? We took off Hato for Cucurella, which is fair enough. I think that was a sensible substitution. And then Achimpong we took off and put Gusto on. I think we should have put Reece James on. We took Dilap off and then we put João Pedro on, which really needed to happen. Wallahi, actually genuinely needed to happen. And then Neto eventually went off, and then we got on Derry, or I can't remember, but our youngster came on. So there you are. The substitutions were wrong. The team sheet was wrong. Just put on your strongest team. I don't care that we got PSG on Wednesday. Sod PSG. The FA Cup is the whole reason to why I support Chelsea in the first place. It was the love of the FA Cup and how they beat Liverpool 4-2 in the FA Cup replay in 1997 that I supported Chelsea, okay? The FA Cup holds significance for a number of Chelsea fans, all right? Yes, the Champions League is the big market money. It's where you want to see your team play. But for fuck's sake, we need a trophy. We haven't won a domestic trophy since 2017. No, was it 2017 or 18? I think it was 2017, wasn't it? Eden Hazard's penalty against Manchester United. We have lost every single domestic fucking cup final. Do not tell me about PSG and preparing for PSG. I don't give a shit. Put on your strongest team. And then, once we go 3-0, 4-0 up, then put on your reserves, all right? At the end of the day, PSG have been well rested for about 6 or 7 days now. They haven't played a game. They're waiting for us at the Parc des Princes. They are waiting to cause hell and damage to us after what we done to them in the Club World Cup final. They want hell. They were ready for us. We needed to have disposed of this game within 90 minutes. Instead, we played 120 minutes. All right, we've rested our important players like Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez and Nicole Palmer. But for fuck's sake, we don't have the luxury of having a week off. The FA would spit on Chelsea if he had requested such a manoeuvre. We had to play this time. We had to play it with strong men. Not this fringe squad. I'm really sorry. Naughty, naughty, naughty team selection. If it was a team selection from Liam Rostinha. We don't know. Probably likely it wasn't. But I didn't enjoy that game. I'm just relieved we're through to the FA Cup 6th round. Very relieved. You know, oh God, that sent me into a cardiac arrest. It really did. Again, before I comment on what happened in this video, apologies for the delayed reactions. I'm just a broken man at the moment. I'm a broken man. I'm shattered. I had ATLS and... yeah, that was a very intense course, so we say. But at least I can assist in a surgical airway or introducing a surgical airway. Can't lead, not allowed to lead, but I can certainly assist. But hopefully none of you guys have a traumatic injury for me to deal with. Please don't. Like I said, I'll assist. Not allowed to lead, but I can assist. Anywho, onto the game itself, and that first half, that first goal gave me gonorrhea. I'm sorry, it gave me gonorrhea. That is something you see in Sunday League standards. It was a cagey start, don't get me wrong. Nobody was really going for it. And then one long ball from the back by Doyle into Sam Smith. The singer, Sam Smith, is it? No, it wasn't quite, but Sam Smith bisected two fielders, Badiashile and Tosin. This is where I say they cannot play as our centre-halves. I don't want them as centre-halves. If they're playing against PSG, I am going to hang myself. PSG are going to have an absolute field day. It will be worse than the Atletico Madrid-Tottenham game, I can assure you. Incompetence. He wasn't offside, no way. He was in his own half. How Badiashile and Tosin allowed this to happen, I don't know. Sanchez wonky with his positioning. Sam Smith rolls it into the back of the net. Should Sanchez have saved it? I think he should have, but his poor positioning meant that he wasn't ready for the first time shot. And then, could have been 2-0, Longman on the right. Little bit of a step over here and there. He has a shot, it crashes off Badiashile's foot. And Sanchez has to tip it over the bar. Wrexham wasn't attacking us. Even before the goal happened, they weren't attacking us. They weren't putting pressure on our defence. They tried putting the ball onto the wides. And then when they realised that, you know, it wasn't working, what did they do? They didn't press us. They stepped back. All right, they went 1-0 up and stepped back even more, which you can completely understand. But they weren't attacking us. We're just causing problems for ourselves. 1-0 up, so it could have been 2-0 up, and then it was 1-1. When Delap, who I was having a moan at in that game, finally did some good play in the middle. He shrugs off and uses his upper body strength to say, get off me. Has a good run, and he picks out the right pass in Garnacho on the left. And rather than have a wild shot, he tries to place it, and he places it well. It goes past Okonkwo, but Thomason was there on the line. He should have cleared it, but it was just unfortunate that it came back off Okonkwo and into the net. 1-1. And then the second half. Hatto, he does a spaghetti manoeuvre on Cleworth. He sends him to the shops. On the byline, passes it to Neto. He tries to do the same thing on Cleworth. Little bit of a bizarre little... I don't know what was going on between Pedro Neto and Cleworth, but then Hatter takes the ball off him and he shoots first time. I thought he went in, but it just rolled wide. And then Wrexham decide to go 2-1 up, don't they? No, this is another goal that gave me syphilis this time. It really did. Corner on the left by Dobson. Headed clear to Windass, who had the freedom of Wrexham to shoot. Nobody fucking went near him. I was there. I was sat in the crowd. I saw the ball fall perfectly to Windass. I saw it, and I went, he's going to leather this because he has every right to leather this. Nobody charged him. Nobody fucking charged him. It flicks of Doyle with an expert flick. It was a wonderful flick. It sent Sanchez the wrong way and it went in. It was 2-1 to them. And at this point, some Chelsea fans had had enough. They left. They went, fuck this shit. We're going home to London. They left, and I don't blame them. There was a part of me that wanted to leave, but at the end of the day, I was like, fuck this, I'm staying on, mates. I'm staying on. I'm staying on for the shame and for the love of the game. Thank Christ I did. Honestly, but it's just disappointing. Disappointing. Throughout that second half, before Wrexham got that goal, we had no intricate playmaking whatsoever. It was just a mix-up and cacophony of either running into the Wrexham players or passing it to the Wrexham players. No idea what to do to break down this Wrexham side when it was 1-1. And then it became 2-1. And then we became desperate. We were like, fuck this shit. We're not going to get knocked out by Wrexham. Certainly not tonight. Which is why we decided to grab an equaliser when Dobson was having a little 0-0 moment. And he had a 0 moment when he unfortunately slipped. Hatto nicks in. Bobbles a ball onto the right, and then on comes Josh Achimpong, who manages to hold off Thomason and Cleworth together. They were both trying to get a hold of it, trying to rescue the situation, but he shrugs them off and he rifles a shot past Okonkwo into the top right-hand corner. Oof, relief. 2-2, and still there was time for a couple more action to happen. First, Pedro Neto hitting the bar. No. Was it Pedro Neto hitting the bar? Yeah, it was Pedro Neto hitting the bar. Garnacho, good play on the left. Passes it inside the box. Cucurella dummies it. Pedro Neto, I thought he scored, but he smacks the bar. Very unlucky with that effort. Then came the defining moment, which was the red card. And I do think it was a red card. It was a clumsy challenge by Dobson. Like I said, he had a 0-0 moment. He set up the goal for it to be 2-1 to them, and then he slips and it becomes 2-2, and then he becomes a right villain. Never mind villain. Bloody terrorist with that bloody tackle. Oh, that was a scything tackle on poor old Garnacho. It was rough. Back in the days, it would have been a yellow, but... upon VAR review, a red card for Dobson. He was upgraded and he was sent off to the gulag. And then I think Wrexham nearly had a chance to win it. I don't know who had the long range shot. I think it was Windass? I don't know. He rifles it, thankfully, straight at Sanchez. 2-2 it finished. And then on to extra time to prolong the misery, where we shortly go in front for the first time this game. Neto on the right, he passes it back to Daryl Asuga with a wonderful clipped ball to the back stick, and Garnacho is there. He shoots, he scores, or so he thought. I thought he put it wide, and I was literally about to go ballistic. I was like, what the fuck, how have you put it wide from where you were, you prick? Some people thought he hit the post. None of us knew what was going on until the ref blew his whistle and pointed to the centre circle. 3-2. He did indeed hit the back of the net. He hit the back of the nets of the stanchion. It just rebounded back out again. 3-2. And thankfully nothing interesting happened from a Wrexham perspective, and you think this is now comfortable. No, it is never fucking comfortable. Corner from the right, flicked on by, I believe, Moore. And I think this was going in. As soon as Moore flicked it, I put my head in my fucking hands. I went, he's fucking scored. And then bloody Brunt, you wonderful man, put it in for good measure to really make sure. I think if he would have left it alone, it would have gone in and it would have been 3-3. But because he headed it, it meant we could go up for VAR review, and he was offside. Thankfully for us, embarrassingly, we were relying upon VAR to bail us out of trouble, but 3-3 it was not. 2-3 it remained the score line. And then they really should have made it 3-3 with a cross from the right. It goes just behind Dunn, but he flicks a leg out and it comes to O'Brien and he shoots. He puts in a curling effort. He zips it. I put my head in my hands again. I thought it was 3-3. I thought it was going to hit the back of the net. That's what I was expecting. Thankfully, it went wide. And then Daola Sugo passes it to João Pedro, in the middle of the park. It goes on a mazy run, chops, goes across a defender, puts it into the bottom left-hand corner, 4-2. But that was single-handedly one of the worst games I've ever had the pleasure of watching. How it finished 4-2, I'll never know. I'm putting my head in my hands now. I really am. Wrexham should have won. Heck, I even missed a chance that they had right at the end as well when Doyle on the left clips it to Thomason, who tries to shoot across the goalkeeper. Sanchez, who makes a good save, but it comes straight to Windass, and his header goes wide. And that was before the full-time whistle. That was before Windass, I think, had a long-range strike. They should have won 3-2. It should have been Wrexham 3, Chelsea 2. Or at the very least, it should have been Wrexham 3, Chelsea 3 and penalty shooter. And fuck knows where that would have gone. I can't even guarantee that we would have gone through on penalties. I really don't. Very bad. Very, very bad. Very much relieved. Very much happy in a sense that we're through to the quarterfinals to play Port Vale. We could have a chance to play the semi-finals. And no disrespect to Port Vale, those fans were absolutely beyond delighted that they got Chelsea away, and it will be a wonderful away day for them. And you can't take anything for granted, but we presume they're going to go out. They are going to be going out the FA Cup. We presume. But again, I don't want to tempt fate. God, Allah, I don't want to tempt you. I'm not, trying to put Nazar on this team. So please, for the sake of it, it's an FA Cup tie, can still go either way. But if, and big if, we go through from the other quarter-final ties, I am not willing to have anyone from Manchester City or Liverpool or the winners of Southampton or Arsenal. So by default, it has to be West Ham versus Leeds. A West Ham side that went 2-0 up inside Stamford Bridge. And somehow we won 3-2 against a Leeds who's taken 4 points out of 6 and are undefeated against Chelsea. We need to really, really, really put our eggs into this bloody cup competition. We really do. Because this is our only chance of a domestic trophy. I don't want us to go out potentially in 2 semi-finals in a domestic cup. And now we've got a European Cup to contend with in PSG. Like I said, so long as I don't see Badiashile and Tosin as the first choice centre-halves playing together, then God willing, it's not going to be 17 billion goals like Bayern Munich did to Atalanta and Atletico Madrid did to Spurs. But let's see, we need to grow the fuck up. Hopefully see you on a live stream if Cassie is performing one for Blues Fan TV. Until then, goodbye, good night. See you later. tonight.